Good morning, Steve Free in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Markets are lower overnight. There was some headlines that UK inflation was higher than expected. They may have to keep increasing rates, which puts some of our financial markets on the defensive. There was also lower than expected returns by a major US bank, and that also puts things on the defensive. Got the stock market lower, dollars higher, crude's lower and back below $80, and gold's down 35. Beans are down 4 cents, corn down 4, wheat's anywhere from 9 to 13 cents lower. First of all, U.S. is cold and wet, and that's going to delay some of the corn plantings. We also see the flooding is increasing in the northern plains, and it also remains cold. So that's going to delay some of the spring wheat planting in the U.S. northern plains and Canada. Flooding is also beginning in the north and Canada as some of the things thaw out over the next 2 weeks. And we noted that world soybean meal users have kind of backed off from coverage because of high prices and uncertain demand. We also note that the Brazil basis continues for soybeans to trend lower. Their crop is big. There's not enough storage for it. Farmers are selling. And Indonesia palm oil stocks came out down 15% from last year. So vegetable oil, especially rapeseed, sunseed oil, because of concern about Ukraine exports, is kind of leading the pack right now in the oilseed complex as far as on the upside. Today we're going to get ethanol data. Basis is firm in corn, and tomorrow we'll see if export sales continue to increase potential demand. We'll be watching also the Brazil corn values, like beans, are continuing to fall because of farmers selling and lack of storage. There's still uncertainty of the Ukraine corridor. Yesterday there were no vessels inspected in the Turkish waters because of the uncertainty of the corridor. Got rains in the forecast and the 8 to 10 day for parts of Kansas. Yesterday's noon map is wet. Today's maps are not as wet, and the European model is actually drier. It is interesting to note that there is talk that Argentina is going to have to import a record amount of 11 million tons of soybeans. Also in the world wheat numbers, we're watching pretty closely if crops will be down here in U.S., Canada, Australia, and Russia. Some people talking about a Russian crop of 86 million tons for wheat versus 92 last year. We also noted a big headline is that India now has a higher population than China. So outside markets on the defensive, asking if inflation is peaked or not. The grain markets on the defensive on concern about demand.